The distance between heaven and hell is the distance between our head and our heart. My name's Tom Short. I always thought I knew it was in the Bible until I actually started to read it for myself. I grew up in a traditional church and learned respect for God, respect for the things of God, and for morality. But I never really heard the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ.
Ja, die Dinge, die er so gesagt hat, glaube ich, können Menschen durchaus behilflich sein in ihrem Leben.
Ja, ist irgendwie auch Gott. Beeindruckender Mensch.
Ein Prophet.
Guter Mensch, sicherlich war er vielleicht in der Welt gewesen, aber mehr kann ich nicht mehr sagen.
Herrscher.
Jesus ist rein der Ansicht jetzt von meinem Glauben her der Sohn Gottes.
Overrated.
Jesus Christ is and remains probably the most controversial figure in history. Some people deny he existed. Some people say he's overrated. But there's no doubt about it. After 2,000 years, he still remains the most famous, loved, admired figure of all history. I suppose when you consider the way he died, humiliated on a cross, hanging there naked, beaten, the whole message from the Romans was, you don't want to be like this guy, you don't want to follow this guy, we humiliate and we defeat him. And yet now today, he's the most loved, famous figure of all history. What made the difference? I think two things. Number one, we see in the cross of Christ that Jesus loved people. More than anyone who's ever lived, he laid down his life for people. And the message of the love of God, as shown in Jesus Christ, has touched the lives of people in cultures and countries and languages all over the whole world. But secondly, the claim is he rose from the dead. And if he rose from the dead, he did something no one else has ever done. There's been many great teachers, many great philosophers, many great leaders, but only one who rose from the dead. And that's why today we still talk about him, we still think about him. Much of the world still worships him because he is exactly who he said he was. The distance between heaven and hell is no further than from the head to the heart. Do I just believe information about Jesus, or do I genuinely trust him in my heart? I turned to God, and I said, God, I want to trust you from my heart. I want to believe in you from my heart. Whatever that means, I want it. I asked him to forgive all my sins that night. I told him I believe Jesus Christ. I told God I believe Jesus Christ had died for me. And I acknowledged my own inability to be the man God wanted me to be. And I asked Christ to come into my life, to forgive me and to save me. And he did.